far beyond witches and wizards is the root cause of health problem of many in Africa. Seek professional advice concerning that your health matter.
I see with my clear eye. The eye that I cannot be able to use 2 years ago, I use it now to see everything. And I say, may God who make this man have this mind, and all those doctors over here, God will bless them and give them more life.
Join Drsavealife Foundation.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye. Now on AIT every Monday by 9:30 a.m.
Hello, my pleasure to come your way again in this special edition of You and Your Health, where we are right now demystifying a number of things we unfortunately poorly understood when it has to do with our health, and particularly when it is happening in the unknown circumstances. And on the basis of that, we take a lot of wrong decision or poorly advised that what perhaps started like a preventable situation become inevitable, become something that nobody could do anything about it again. It ought not to be so. And last week we started to review certain red lines. Now we put it very clearly and say people don't just die. Come on, leave all those tracks we share our narrative, cool it. Before someone dies, there are signs. Before your vehicle knock engine, there are signs. It's only when you are not sensitive to those things. Regrettably, because we are not well informed when it has to do with health information or education, most of those signs come either unnoticed or poorly interpreted to be an enemy doing something. And last week we started something that has to do with weight loss. That many people have unexplainable or poorly explained weight loss. And wonderful, if you miss that very series, you visit our YouTube channel, Drsavealife, Drsavealife. Right there, you will be able to get most of this series. Come on, do you know what? What you are getting right now is going to save a lot of money for you by reason of knowledge. Through knowledge shall the just one be delivered. Now, I want you to use this opportunity. Call your friends. Tell them it's happening again. And as soon as that is done, I will come back and we will look at when somebody is stealing blood. Is there any significance to that? When somebody is vomiting blood, where is it coming from? If somebody is coughing out blood, where is it coming out from? Or urinating blood? Or a woman you know, maybe have gone into menopause, all of a sudden start menstruating, unquote, again. Or a young girl bleeding excessively through the vagina. What could have been responsible for such? And if it's allowed, is there any danger sign ahead? And is there anything we can do to avert such misfortune? These and many more, I will tell you when I come back.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye.
Ignorance is the mother of personal destruction, a voluntary misfortune, and it is worse when you are ignorant of your ignorance. Doing something same way expecting a different result is another demonstration of madness. If you have done what you think you know concerning that your health problem, why not seek for professional advice? If you lose money, you lose something. But if you lose your health, you lose everything. Hear this, you don't need things to enjoy life. You need life to enjoy things. Give your health professional attention.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye. Now on AIT every Monday by 9:30 a.m.
Welcome back. You are still on You and Your Health, a program sponsored by Drsavealife Foundation, a non-governmental organization with a clear vision of giving total health to the people of Africa through the power of knowledge. I remain your friend, Dr. Richard Okoye. Today we're going to talk about most important aspect of you, of our lives, and that has to do with blood. Very, very important. It is the fountain of life. Where there is no blood, there is no life. Okay? So, and we are looking at this very blood. Number one, it's necessary for us to look at the physiology. Where is blood coming from? Blood production is actually coming from two sources. When it has to do with the production of blood, it comes from the bone marrow. All right? The bone marrow develop what is called stem cells. Those stem cells will now differentiate into white blood cell, red blood cell, and also the platelets. But one important area that also contributes to blood production, which is called erythropoiesis. Don't worry about that, very big grammar. There is a particular portion of the kidney that produces a particular substance that is called erythropoietin. Very, very important. That's revealed to you while most people with kidney failure also will have low blood, or what is called anemia. Because that erythropoietin produced from the kidney, what it does is that it acts on the bone marrow, those stem cells the bone marrow produces, and asks him, please, begin to produce more of red blood cell. All right? This particular one that we call blood. This produce more of it, because that is what will transport both oxygen and other things to different parts of the body. That's the picture I want you to have clear. That your blood is very important. So this is expected that there should be enough blood running inside the man and the woman system, because if those blood is not there, there will be nothing to carry food, there's nothing to carry oxygen to different parts of the body. So now I want us to understand that blood is important. And the blood in the body should not be wasted or have any form of shortage that cannot be explained. All right. So now we're going to look at it that a man or a woman ought to pass out feces or stool that should not have blood. The body did not decide it that you can sometimes you will stool and you will see blood in it. But what when such happens? I will tell you how somebody can lose blood right there from the stool. Now, you can have blood being lost on a frank. As you look at the same, you will see blood, red. That's one. You can also be losing blood if your stool is changed from vegetable color, depending on what you ate, or oily kind of stool, and you see that your stool is dark, or your stool is looking like coffee, and it's just looking like that, it's not looking that very normal color of your stool. My dear, when you see such, you should have a little sense of concern. What do I mean by that? A person may have bleeding coming from cancer of the stomach. He may have an ulcer that is bleeding from somewhere, but before that ulcer will travel from the stomach and travel all the way the pipe and mixing up with other food substances, before it will come out, it won't come out as fresh blood. It will come out as altered blood, or that what is called occurred blood. That's why sometimes they say you should go and do fecal or occurred blood. Fecal occurred blood. What does that mean? That there is blood in these two, but you can't see with your eyes. You can't see with your eye. Some of them are being caught on you doing a comprehensive health check, which I advise everyone should be able to do routinely. Now, in a situation you also see a man, after stooling, all of a sudden he look at the sink, everywhere blood. The commonest cause of such a situation, both in the young and in the old, is hemorrhoid, what is called pile. In a day we will have another version to discuss what happened around the anal region. I will be able to distinguish what is called pile which sometimes another version of it, that the one that comes out and people push back, that is called rectal prolapse, we also call it pie, is different. But when you have a painless bleeding following stooling, that is most likely to be hemorrhoid. That can cause excessive blood loss. It is a concern when you see such a situation. In other people with some level of intestinal problem, they can have what is called diverticulum. Those diverticulosis could be in position, the person will pour out one bucket of blood, it will be so frightening. And at that very point in time, you need to be in position to go to hospital as quickly as possible. Now we go further. Someone that is urinating blood, where could this very blood coming from? The commonest cause of someone urinating blood, it could come from the issue that has to do with kidney stone or bladder stone. Sometimes when they scrub the pipe, you may see blood. The commonest cause of blood coming as a frank. The person will be urinating and you will see blood line. That problem may come from the cancer of the bladder, or it could also come from the prostate cancer. So any of these is important, that when you see any of these signs, don't say that it happened the way I do this. Connect with your doctor as quickly as possible. That could save a lot. We go further. What could make a man or a woman start vomiting blood? Of course, you know it's not normal. It is important that when someone vomits blood, as soon as that happens, you should be able to get to the hospital. Let's confirm that the problem is not coming from esophageal related problem or issue that has to do with abdominal cancer, even sometimes liver cirrhosis, pancreatic tumor. Some of them can also be in position to make a person vomit blood. In any of these, it's important that when you see certain things you are not comfortable with, when it has to do with blood loss, begin immediately to seek for help. I want you to stay tuned. When I come back, we're going to talk about something that has to do with our women. And this one is that a woman will start bleeding excessively. I will tell you so much about the character of a woman's menses, and what, when you see, you should be able to, you as a man, if you are living with them and they tell you certain things, you should be able to know when the danger sign has happened. I want you to stay tuned. I'll be right back as we continue this very series, Total Health for All Through the Power of Knowledge. In addition to Vision 2025, 70 years for all Nigerians is possible.
Hello, I am Pastor Barrister Austin Nadi, the Country Director of Drsavealife Foundation. I'm inviting you to join this life-changing and destiny-reforming foundation today. You can be part of it by calling those numbers that are running on your screen right now, or visit our website on www.drsavealife.org. Together, we can save a life.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye. Now on AIT every Monday by 9:30 a.m.
Welcome back. You are still on You and Your Health. And today we are still in our mission, moving Nigerian life expectancy from 55 years to 70 years by the year 2025. I tell you, through the power of knowledge we are teaching out here in healthcare, a lot of people, a lot of lives is already being saved, a lot of testimony. Many people today are sharing the testimony of the knowledge they got here. Some people thought that the problem they are passing through, as they were told, is one devil. They will not go to hospital. If you go to hospital, you will die. That is what has eaten up the life of so many people in Africa. And we are coming out to demystify some of these medical terminologies, perhaps contributing to the confusion of the people. And we are looking at some of the things that can kill. That if someone crosses the red line, it can be very unfortunate. Before anybody dies, these signs will be there. And we are looking at today on the subject of losing blood. And losing blood from the issue of somebody urinating blood, from somebody stooling blood, from somebody coughing out blood, or somebody vomiting blood, or somebody also vaginally losing a lot of blood. What could be responsible for such a situation? And I will tell you. Now, I will be able to look at the subject of vaginal bleeding. When a woman started bleeding per vagina, don't forget that a woman within her reproductive age group should be able to be seeing her menses every month. Interesting, okay? Nevertheless, when a woman has gone into menopause, about 55 as it were, and all of a sudden your menses have not been coming, and suddenly you start seeing menses. God is not bringing you to be a young lady again. No. Something may be wrong. You shouldn't cover it with a mentality or private part or private region. At that point, you should call for attention. I'm seeing something that under normal circumstances, it ought not to be there. Can you ask questions? Ask questions. Ask concerning that thing. Don't assume. In the multitude of counsel, a city can be built. Ask questions concerning that health situation. So when a woman that has gone beyond menopause starts seeing menses or seeing blood, as it were, there are two major things of a concern that could be responsible for that. Number one is the subject of cervical cancer, cancer of the cervix. It could be in position to make a woman to start bleeding. Most times in that case, you may have what is called bleeding during intercourse. When you start, maybe after the intercourse, you can start seeing blood. It's a concern. It's not normal. It's not normal at all. So, also, if there is endometrial cancer, what's called endometrial hyperplasia, there's a unnecessary growth, overgrowing of the inside of the womb, and all of a sudden blood started coming out. That could be a telltale sign to cancer of the womb, or a telltale sign to cancer of the cervix. But do not panic when you see it for the first time. And that's why we are here. That most of these very illnesses, if it is discovered early, it can be cured. Early detection of any medical condition, including cancer, is as good as prevention. But at what point do our people appear in the hospital? When the worst had already happened. And that's why we are here to say, no, we shouldn't continue in that line. You should be in position as a woman to do what is called pap smear. Colposcopy is also there that should be able to dictate, is there any changes happening inside inside the cervix? If it is detected early, 100% cure. These are some of the things when you observe them. Start early to call on your doctor. Start early to call for help. Start early to call for help. It does not, once you hear this, don't panic. Come on. So many things can be done in the time we are. But early detection is the key. Now, taking off from that very aspect of you above 50, as I said, seek for help immediately. But in a normal woman of reproductive age, you see your menses. But I want to tell you something about the characteristics of that your menses. Menstrual blood has a character. And the menstrual blood does not clot. What I mean by clotting is that menstrual blood does not come in lumps of blood. It doesn't. Because it has a chemical in it that liquefies the blood. So, in that particular case, every woman that sees her menses normal should be able to see it, and it flows like water, not coming like in the lumps of blood. Please keep this information very well. All right? Nevertheless, in a situation where you discovered that your menses that used to come for 4 days is suddenly going to 6 days or even more, and also the blood, they start coming in lumps, my friend, you are not shedding your menses, you are shedding your own blood. It's a concern that you should be able to say, hey, I need help now. And there are two commonest cause of such excessive bleeding in a reproductive age woman, particularly this side of the world, and that has to do with the fibroid. Is the commonest cause of that. Second one is also what is called adenomyosis. It's important for you just to know this, because sometimes a number of people will have fibroid or have adenomyosis. When they go for scan, they say you have fibroid. No, listen. Adenomyosis also mimic like fibroid even on scan. But what happens in that, if you have a look at this, let me show you something here, very important. Now, have a look at this. This is fibroid. You can see it removed, and you can see the small portion of this very fibroid. It's just like a pebble. And you can see some of them like just big eggs. These are all removed from somebody. So this is what is called fibroid. You can shell it out from the womb. It is not attached to the womb. All right. That is what's called fibroid. All right. Then you have another one that is called adenomyosis. Very unfortunate that that particular one is rather the thickening of the muscles of the womb itself. The womb can still be big, but it may not be the one who will go and remove something out of it. So it becomes something like a ball. That particular one will still cause excessive bleeding, but usually associated with severe menstrual pain. So we may even be rolling on the ground when the menses will come. That one is a more thing of concern. It's called adenomyosis. So on that very occasion, whichever one it is, attention as it stands today, excellent attention can be given to the problem of fibroid, also the issue of adenomyosis, which is relatively of a concern before you recommend the issue of hysterectomy. But Professor Sada from University of Tokyo, Japan, was able to do a particular procedure. They call it Osada triple flap technique of adenomyotomy. There's a way the surgery is done that it can remove that thickness and still bring the back again. You know, it's called Osada triple flap adenomyosis. But be that as it may, what we are here today as the subject is that when you see yourself losing blood, in whichever form, don't sweep it under the carpet. Let's not somebody tell you any form of story. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Start now to ask questions and receive relevant professional answers. And that's why I say most times, start that your question on your head with a doctor. You may never go wrong. I tell you.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye. Now on AIT every Monday by 9:30 a.m.
Welcome back. You are still on You and Your Health, a program sponsored by Drsavealife Foundation. I remain your friend, Dr. Richard Okoye. And today we are looking at the dangers associated with excessive blood loss. There are some also blood loss that you may not even see coming out from anywhere when it has to do with the other blood cancers like leukemias and all that. But most important thing is that there signs somebody whose blood is going down, even if the person doesn't know. There are signs to that. I would like to tell you that, because when there is a low level of their blood in their body, you may begin to get tired. You may begin to get weak. Sometimes on level of dizziness, what is called anemia. This particular one is that if it is not actively losing, you can have what is called anemic heart failure. When the heart does not have enough blood to pump, the person may start having some lightheadedness, some form of dizziness. It may also have something that has to do with tiredness. If you walk a distance, you may get tired. Sometimes the legs may be swollen. At that particular point in time, something is going wrong more seriously. It is on that very borderline I said, why must we wait until the worst happens? Why is it that in this side of the world we hardly get people that have cancer as early as possible? I've been a privileged medical doctor. Privileged to the extreme you can call privilege. Yeah, people will say, oh, this very person has cancer. No. Fly him abroad or fly her abroad. Get to US, get to UK, get to India and all that. We have seen it all. Any cancer that has metastasized is only a palliative management globally. Palliative. They will just be in position, you may go there, they do a little sense of bypass, and the person will start feeling relatively well. After a while, the person will die. Check out the history. It is not a function of how much you have now. You have the money to fly to this or to fly to that. Why not start from prevention, which is always better and cheaper than cure? Why not take our time and be in position to go out there, do a comprehensive check, keep the record for yourself as you are servicing your vehicle? Do likewise. You have something that has to do with fibroid. Why are you waiting? You want to scatter the womb that if you see these women, sometimes I keep on imagining how a woman will be able to have this sort of tummy and just perhaps somebody will tell you, you are having pregnancy. And it's unfortunate. Some of these things that could be given attention as early as possible. Do not go drinking all manner of things and affecting your kidney and all that. We had a lot of kidney failures in this country. We can't continue to allow our people, by reason of ignorance, drink themselves to death. Most of these things, like in today's world, issue of fibroid right now can be excellently be removed. The dietary machine has also come to minimize even blood loss. That's most times there's no danger you doing fibroid operation. Your coach will be in position to do what is called laparoscopy removal of the fibroid, and a lot of technology has already come to make most of these surgery very safe and fine. I encourage you, and I encourage you again. Why not we begin to give attention to our health in this country? I tell you, whatever you like here, share it with someone. Support this program, as I've ever been saying, so that even if you have somewhere in a program or in a station anywhere in the country, we can give you tips. Let's share this knowledge to people. Together, we could be able to build a healthy Nigeria, which I'm very optimistic. Come 2025, you will ask a question whether this is a miracle. Call it a prophecy, it will come to pass. Because a lot has been put in place by this knowledge. If we do it as a unit, everybody to his neighbor, everybody to his loved one, together we can save a lot of people. And I tell you, 2021, I want you to watch out. Drsavealife app will be available. I developed that in America, and I want it to be available to every Nigerian. I'm gonna sow it as a seed, free for all. Europe and America will pay for the services. But I want everyone to be optimistic. Give priority to your health. If you lose money, you lose something. But if you lose your health, you lose everything. Why not spend that money you have? Be strong, you will get more money. Instead of keeping it for your children or your loved one to use it and bury you. May that not be your portion. See you again.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye is brought to you by Drsavealife Foundation.